Afternoon. My name is Latanya Franklin, and I'm a graduate student at Liberty University. I recently conducted a group meeting on parenting. This meeting was conducted on June 22nd at my home, and it lasted 2 hours. The members were college and class and childhood friends, past and present business associates, as well as newly established relationships that I had. The purpose of this group was to provide information on a formal and informal basis through peer involvement and advice. This was my first time leading a group of this type. I was very familiar with the background of each member, so I decided to do a roundtable introduction. By doing so, each member had to say their name, the number of children they had, and the ages of their children. I chose that format to give each member a little background on the other before the actual discussion started. I also wanted members to familiarize themselves with the other members that they could relate to, so when it came time for us to do the dyads, they would pair pretty easily. That also helped me. I also knew which member would try to monopolize the discussion and which members would try to silence themselves from communicating during all the topics of the discussion. So before the introduction, I explained to the group my purpose for creating this group, what I plan to gain from it, and what I hope they gain from it. The topics of discussion were mentioned early because I wanted to give the members an opportunity to think about their comments and their answers once the discussion started. I was very fortunate because the members they were very engaged throughout the topics. I had to cut off a few members for rambling and getting long-winded. However, I was able to summarize portions of the topics in order to include all the members because we had a few that kind of slipped into silence. So with such a small group, I was able to actively listen, both verbally and non-verbally, to what I was hearing. So I made a lot of eye contact with those members that kind of silenced or didn't really give a full answer to some of the questions to let them know that I was coming back around to get them more involved. Once that happened a couple of times, they realized that it should be a little bit more open, so they were more forthcoming with their answers as opposed to me having to draw them out. So that worked well for each of us because the conversations continued to flow within the meeting. There was a little resentment in the meeting, and that was, from the parents who had more children or those that had less children because they didn't feel that it was kind of balanced on how you did the parenting. So what I did, I created a round where I posed the question, does the number of children a parent has make parenting easier or harder? Without being judgmental. So this allowed the members to hear both sides from those that had less children and those that had more. So as a result of that, I introduced a dyad where and I paired the members up who were on the opposing sides of this particular question. Those that had more with those that had less, those that had the same amount of children but they would have been male against a female. So that exercise was awesome because the members were positive and forthcoming with their responses. It was no negativity. It was actual things that they felt. So being honest about those feelings had, the individuals understanding why they had felt the way that they felt in the beginning. So as a result of that, it was very positive. It was praise on both sides. So when the group came back into meeting, I asked the question, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you now think that's a difference of parenting whether you have one child or two? And unanimously, the answer was no. That it doesn't make a difference how many children you have. You have to construct your parenting style according to your household. So that was really good for me. And they worked that out through themselves. So that was even a bigger positive. The dads brought a lot of emotions. So when I seen that, I kind of had to steer the exercise off since we were back into the group. Cut off some of the members a little bit, summarize the dyads, and keep it moving forward because I felt we were taking a detour on what the whole purpose of this meeting was. As much as I enjoyed the group, its straightforward in its confessions were at times very emotional. Although 2 hours made for a long session, it could have been longer, and I think the members would not have minded if we went a little longer. So that lets me know this could be a group that could continue to meet, because it's a need to have that engagement amongst the parents. I think I did a good job facilitating the group because I created it specifically, actual and informative topics, because I wanted to eliminate the rambling and the loss of focus. And at no time did I sense that the members were being lost or disengaged. Ironically, it's the first time any of them have ever been in a group session other than for grief. The slight resentment among the members, that was a hiccup in the meeting that I didn't see coming, but I did recognize it quickly enough to redirect the focus of the members and eliminate the negative energy. So that was a plus. The round exercise helped to diffuse that disruption. And I think we maintained a trusting atmosphere. So by the end of the day, it all worked out. But I caught it quickly enough that the other members didn't suspect that that was what was already going on. Controlling my emotions were the most challenging for me. The clarity and the flow of the group was done very well. However, I sense my delivery may have been a little stern or authoritative in the beginning. I believe I started out that way because I wanted to present myself in a professional manner, and having a personal relationship with each one of these women, I didn't want it to turn into a girlfriend session or a bashing session that didn't have any value for the group. The group leading experience was fun and empowering. The preparation of the group was stressful, and that I had to find the required amount of members in the same area and make sure they was available. Making the purpose of the group clear and concise, which is the key to success in all groups, that was pretty difficult as I had to revise my topic many times. But my takeaway would be to focus on my delivery, my leadership tone. Soften my approach in the beginning. That will help, I think, reach the comfort level in the group in the beginning for the members. Expand the topics. Make them a little more challenging. And then change the setting of the group. Make it a little less intimate and a tad bit more clinical. All in all, I had a wonderful experience conducting this group meeting. I think I would love to conduct more. This topic, like I said, is very widespread, so I could continue with these meetings on, I think, a weekly basis. I think it would be needed. I think the participation would be there, and I think it would be something beneficial to all that attended. Again, thank you for letting me share my information, and goodbye.